So we're about to react to this fella's street interview. Please put a like on the vid.
Did you know that 70% of women that come to downtown Riverside are single moms?
Yeah, and that's a terrible thing.
Why is it terrible?
Because you need a father in a family. Because the father is the structure of a family. And without a father, I've looked into the research. Children that are raised without a father are much more likely, a daughter, to be much more likely to have kids at a very young age, and a son much more likely to be incarcerated at a young age. So I think that the father is very important in a family structure.
And that's facts. Listen, that's why I, believe in long-term commitments in marriage and things like that, because even though it's messed up and stuff like that, that's the best structure for a household. That's the one thing, that hasn't changed. The kids need two parents in the household to get the best results as far as, just how they turn out. And if you want to be honest, it contributes to what type of adults are going to be put into society, and things of that nature. So I really think that's important, because these are the people that you're going to have to deal with. You dealt with them when you was in school, as far as like, your peers and stuff like that. You dealt with them in your early 20s. And when you become something like 30 or 40, 50 or 60, these are going to be the young people that you have to deal with. So if we can correlate single parent households, specifically single mom households, to crimes and degeneracy and, pregnancy and things of that, like teen pregnancy and things of that nature, it would absolutely be better for society if the fathers were in the household. That's just a fact. We'll continue.
Hands down.
Why do you think there's so many single moms out here?
I would say social media influences them to have second options, and so they don't take relationships seriously. I would say that social media is very destructive in a sense that, people don't take relationships seriously. There's always that second chance, this guy's no good, I can find somebody else, type thing.
Now listen, what he said about social media is right, and it may be a contributing factor. But when you look at just how things have been going for the past 40 years at least, when it comes to single motherhood, social media has only really been rocking for 15 years. MySpace and stuff like that really wasn't doing anything too crazy back in the 2000s. It wasn't like it's dominant, and it wasn't from your phone. You had to be on a computer. So it wasn't that crazy as in comparison to right now, where these people have done all the studies at these companies and they know how to get the dopamine flowing through your head and stuff like that. So listen, what it comes down to is a few things, and I say it all the time as far as why so many single mothers, man. The first thing is feminism. When you get to the point where you get this independence where you think you don't need a man, it absolutely impacted the black community heavily when it comes to that independence and stuff. Black women got it and took it to a whole different level. But if we just talk about black people, government assistance as well. I mentioned in one of my earliest videos, one of my first videos actually, the way that welfare and public housing was set up is you would get it if you had kids and things like that, but you could not have a man in the home, and they used to send social workers, and, the guy would hide, or he would jump out the window or something like that so that she don't lose her crib. So she was not allowed to have a guy there. So that's the government forcing that. They're forcing single parent homes at that point, specifically single mothers. But outside of that, the culture has got to a point, and contraception is the reason for this, to where there is more casual fucking, because if you want to avoid the consequence, you can. So you might have one whore who is really like taking Plan Bs like Skittles, and she got 8 abortions. She's not going to tell the world that. Her friends might know that. It might circulate through the city a little bit, but it might not make it back to you as a guy. And even then, other chicks might not know, depending on how she handle her business. But when you look at another chick, She could be a whore too, but she's pro-life. She got a whole different stance. She got a whole different stance than the other chick. And guess what? When somebody nut inside her, she's trying to keep the baby. She's trying to keep the baby. So when you look at things like feminism, creating a whole independent woman shit, the government assistance really pushing the man out of the household and things like that in the black community. Then you look at contraception, pretty much getting these women to fuck even more and more casual sex and stuff like that. But then you look at, it's some pro-life whores out here. Some pro-life whores out. You combine all that, put it in a soup, and whatever. You could also throw in different parts of the culture as far as how, the promiscuity has developed into something that is like very standard. It's very standard. It's very acceptable. There are more layers to this. But I would say those things are the foundational things that have got us to where we are today as far as why there are so many single mothers. But let's continue.
That's true because a study came out saying 70% of girls have a backup boyfriend. Do you think that's because of social media?
Absolutely, because women want validation all the time. And so if they have social media, they'll receive that validation, and then they'll also receive options.
Are you single?
No, I'm married.
Are you married?
I am married.
Let's say you wanted your wife to deactivate her social media.
I want her to. I currently want her to.
You told her to?
Well, yeah, but yeah.
She's fighting you on it?
I'd say she's a product of what this conversation is about. She has an Instagram. She feels that she can find something that will do better for her. And that's not true because I know I'm a good person. I'm a genuine person. And she's looking for an upgrade. And she won't get one.
Would you prefer if she was more compliant with you, more submissive to what you're saying?
Absolutely. Okay. Our relationship would be tremendously better. Absolutely.
So this is the thing. Because I look at this guy and I would think that he is probably somewhere in the ballpark of 30, but it's possible that he's a young dude. It's possible that he's just 26, 27. It's possible. But this is the thing I look at. I know he hasn't been married for like 15 years because he doesn't look that old. And remember, I said Instagram, as far as, it's been out somewhere in the ballpark of 15 years. That's how long social media has been doing what it's doing. So I say all that to say the concern that I have is this is a very aware guy. He must have achieved this level of awareness while he was married. He had to, because if he achieved this level of awareness before he got married, I'm positive his girl didn't get married and just say, yo, let me get on Instagram and let me start going crazy on Instagram. I don't think that's how it went. She more than likely has had that account, especially if they're in their early 20s, like since she was a, teenager or something like that. Even if she hasn't had that account, she's probably been on social media as far as Instagram and Twitter and things like that since she was a teenager. So my thing is always prevention and vetting. Like, you have to know who you're with. It's hard for me to believe that he found out that his girl likes Instagram attention during the marriage. This is something he was probably aware of before the marriage. This is something that is not like, I'll give you an example very quickly. Like, a small compromise would be something like, yo, I don't like it when you leave the toilet seat up or some shit like that. That's something small. That's not a deal breaker. If I could think of something else, it would be like, yo, I really don't like it when you, hug your coworker when you're leaving the job and stuff like that. I know he's supposed to be gay, but could you just, not do that just for me? Like, that's cool. That's not a deal breaker. That's not a deal. Like, if she keeps hugging the guy, like, you're not about to throw the whole marriage out the window and stuff like that. It's a bad sign. But when you look at Instagram is absolutely a threat to your marriage, especially if she is using it in a way that is just going to attract more men, or as he put it, more options.
Do you think men value respect more or love more from their woman?
Respect.
Well, you said...
I'm not going to lie. He got to be inebriated or something, because respect shouldn't even have to have been thought about. We value that way more than anything, universally. I wish one of you dudes would get in my fucking comments and say that you value love more than respect. I'll probably disrespect you in the comments. Go ahead and try it.
Your wife has you blocked on IG.
Yeah, she's got me blocked.
How does that make you feel?
Insignificant.
Why do you think she did that?
So that I can see what she's got going on her page, what she's promoting on her page. She's taking a bunch of selfies, if she's looking for attention.
Do you think that when women post themselves on social media, it's to get validation elsewhere?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Is there a solution? Is there what's the next step?
There's no solution if she's not willing to play and make a team effort to make the relationship better. It's a constant battle to find peace, which is all that I want. Peace and respect. So don't know if that'll happen or not.
See, this is the issue, and I'm not sure where I read this or where I heard this, but like when it comes to women, like they'll quit on you before they get out of the relationship and stuff like that. So they'll be in a relationship and they be done dumped you in their head like however long. And they be looking for those next options, kind of like she's doing and stuff like that. And that's one of the reasons that women initiate way more divorces, somewhere like in the 70 percentile range, than men. They do that because of guys like this. Guys like this, he sees the problem. He knows what it is. He knows how bad it is. But he is not willing to step away and leave. He is going to try and make it work. Traditionally, that's what guys used to do, and that's what guys do, and that's how marriage is supposed to be. You're supposed to work through it and stuff like that. The women of today clearly don't feel that way based on the statistics. Now, this is the thing. When you look at the fact that he wants her to delete her Instagram, that's one thing. That's one thing. And I already mentioned how it's a detriment. It's a whole different beast when she got her husband blocked. What the fuck are you doing to where you got to block the guy that you had a 10, 20, 50, $100,000 wedding with? You done had all these motherfuckers come out and give gift cards, and y'all got the catering, and y'all danced to cha-cha slide. Like, y'all done did all this for the wedding and shit like that. Y'all done said till death do us part. Y'all done made y'all vows. And because this guy is very aware. He knows what it is. If he's willing to say this to the camera in public for the world to see, he definitely done said this to her before. He definitely, so he's telling you how this is a detriment, but you can't really get past yourself and your selfishness, because the truth is you probably don't want to make this work. You probably like, I'm done with this dude. Because you see all these dudes in your DMs and stuff like that. And this is the thing. He said, oh, man, she won't get rid of me because I'm a good dude. Chicks don't give a fuck if you're a good dude. They really don't. That's why I made the video like these chicks love turmoil and shit. They don't give a fuck if you're a good dude. They give a fuck if you are a valuable dude. It's a complete difference. And when you understand that, the whole good dude shit, it doesn't fucking matter. But again, she might see dudes in the DM that are more valuable than her husband. She might be fishing for those options, and she might be getting some of those options. This is the thing. Those guys don't want her long term. Those guys are not going to marry her. But women are delusional. They don't really think shit through. They're emotional and stuff. I seen a Pimpin' Kid. He said something like women are very intelligent. Women are Women are manipulative. They're intelligent when it comes to manipulation because they do it innately. But when we get past that, when their emotions is involved, when they are emotionally heightened, when somebody got a grip on their emotions, they become very impulsive and they make bad decisions. So we'll just say that. But listen, these chicks don't be aware that, these dudes just want to fuck you. And you're not about to fuck your way into a relationship with most of these air quote high value dudes that you're looking at while you're in a marriage, because you're not going to hide the marriage from them. They're going to find out eventually. And once they find out that you weren't loyal to this guy, if they're really like valuable and they got a lot of options, there's no way that they're going to take you serious, especially to the degree that this man took you serious. So a lot of women don't realize that. But they don't realize, this social media shit isn't really reality. And just because the guy who owns a Chevrolet dealership is in your DMs and he's not trying to sell you a car, he just wants to smash you. He does not want to marry you. He just wants to smash. That's what it is, man. Let me know your thoughts. I'm out.